Halo, salam semangat. Selamat datang di Molari Podcast. Mari obrolin olahraga lagi. Dan kali ini kita kedatangan tamu yang sangat spesial. Kita punya Dr. Dana Ryan, Director of Sports Performance, Nutrition and Education from Herbalife, dan juga Inge Prasetyo sebagai atlet dari Herbalife. Yeah. How's that feel in Indonesia?
Wonderful. I
Wonderful.
love it here. Yes.
Any memorable things like food or place you want to tell us?
Yes. Let's see. We were in Yogyakarta.
Yogyakarta.
Yeah.
Okay.
The last couple days. Saw some incredible temples. Ate a lot of food from cassava. I don't know the names of the food, but it was all versions of cassava, and it was amazing.
It's amazing.
Yeah.
All right. So I think the name, if I can read your mind, maybe it's called getuk. Sure. Okay.
Yeah.
So let's find out more about the food in the Yogyakarta. There's a lot.
Yes, it's very good.
And not only Dr. Dana Ryan that we will talk about something and a lot of things in here. We have Inge Prasetyo as one of the Herbalife athlete. Wow. The one who escaped from Alcatraz, and it will be remembered in history, I think. And recently just got podium in Ironman 70.3 in Bangsaen. Where's the country? Bangsaen?
In Thailand.
In Thailand. Third overall female.
Overall,
Yes.
yeah.
And on top of her age group, for sure.
Yeah. Well, I think triathlon is just fun for me. That's why
It's
I think
fun.
getting podium
It's
is just
fun.
it's just a bonus getting a podium.
Yeah.
You don't always go there. I mean, it's nice to get a podium.
Just like a one quote I found is, when you bet at one sport, why don't you do three?
Yeah, you do three, you bet in all three, right?
Yeah, of course.
Then you might be good.
Of course. So that's from Inge Prasetyo. You knew already from how many years?
Yeah, I think
6-7 years.
I first met Dana in Kona, I think in Hawaii,
Oh.
2017. You know, with a Kona. So
Oh.
I went to Kona because I qualified for the Ironman World Championship.
Whoosh. How's that feel when you come to Kona, like
That
the
was,
biggest triathlon event?
it's crazy because the atmosphere is just so vibrant. It's so triathlon, and everybody just loves triathlon so much. And I got invited to Herbalife house because they always rented a big house.
Okay.
It's just nice, and they invited to a nice dinner, and we met all of their pro athletes.
Okay. So you got a full hospitality from the Herbalife. So how Herbalife treat their athlete to see this athlete is very happy. maybe you can tell us.
Yeah.
They spoil us.
Yeah, you can spoil us. Yeah, how
Yeah,
Herbalife
we
support
support
the
them with
athlete.
nutrition, right? It's
Uh-huh.
all about being authentic. So I
Okay.
think, we have over 150 teams and athletes that we sponsor around the world.
Mm.
And for us, it's not just a name on a jersey. It's not paying an athlete to be a sponsored athlete for Herbalife. It's how do we actually support you to be the best version of yourself in whatever sport it is that you're participating in. And so it's
Yeah.
making sure that they have the support from the nutrition side, any way that we can support. We're in over 90 countries, and so it's great. So when it comes to the US, we have products to help support there so the nutrition could go all around the world with them.
So you see this happy athlete as one of the example, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
But let's talk about running in here, like because we are a road to the Herbalife Run 2024 that will be held in this September 15th, actually. For by the way, is a Herbalife Run is my first half marathon back in 2017. So that time I was a beginner of runs. So let's talk about running for beginner first, right? I will ask Inge first, right?
Okay.
As we all know, in this 2024, the running industry is very growing, especially in Indonesia. Right now, we have a number. We have 1 million of people now start running. And subject to your experience, Inge,
Yeah.
is what is the first step for someone who wants to start there?
The first step for
Running.
because running, I think everybody can do it. Everybody
Yeah.
can run. It's not like a specific sport where you need special talent for that.
Mm.
You just need like friends to go running with.
Ah.
My journey started with my neighbor because we live in the
When
same.
was it?
And it was like maybe 2013, 2012,
Mhm.
because we just live in the same building.
Okay.
So I saw this guy going out every night running
Okay.
because we had to go to work during the day, and we only had time at night around 8 p.m. after dinner.
Uh-huh.
And I was wondering, like, okay, why
Yeah.
would you do that?
Yeah.
"Oh, I need-"
What is your first impression? This guy is weird running at
Yeah.
8 p.m. or something.
No, because it's a way to divert your mind from work life.
Okay.
So you just need an escape
Okay.
from that hectic life. And when you're running, I feel free. I don't feel burdened by anything. I don't think about anything, so it's just liberating for me.
Oh, okay.
So I joined my neighbor on his
Around the
routine
neighborhood?
run around the neighborhood. It's
Uh-huh.
only 2 kilometers now. It's not like a big stadium. It's just around the block and back, around the block and back. And then I started maybe just 5K, 4K, and then eventually we did 20K on that
Oh.
stretch. Yeah. So you start small and you find your people.
Ah, okay.
That's what that would be.
Did
like.
you remember your first time to participate in a race for run?
I did an 8K race.
Okay.
I was still wearing a cotton shirt and a cotton.
that's the point in here. When you start running, your attire is like using a pants. And,
it's just not runner at all. You know, like nowadays, even the new runners, they already have the nice equipment. I mean, back in the days, like for me, it's not that long ago, but I didn't really care too much about anything. I was just like running.
Okay.
So my first 8K, it was hard.
It was hard.
Yeah, it was. It was not easy because it's long.
Mhm.
I don't normally like to run that long.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's also because I didn't prepare enough. I didn't train enough, and I was just like, oh, yeah, I can do it. It's only 8K. I mean, you can just walk it. Even walking is fun. It's far.
Yeah.
And if you don't drink, and I was like, oh, it's okay. I'm not thirsty. You know, it's
So you're not that concerned.
no,
about
I don't even
the
think about
hydration or
anything.
something
Yeah,
else.
I ran as like newbies. You just ran as hard as I could the first kilometer, 1 kilometer, and then you're dead, right?
Oh, okay. Is that happen on you when you know about when you knew about running, and how's your running experience?
How's
there?
my running experience?
Yeah.
You know, I'm not the strongest runner. So I was a
Okay.
gymnast growing up,
Okay.
and then I moved to the sport of rowing.
Yeah.
But I did start running. It was a challenge for me. I was diagnosed with a digestive disease when I was in college, and the organization that sponsors a few runs, and it was one of those things I was like, I need to prove to myself, like, maybe you gave me this diagnosis, but it doesn't mean that I can't go out and run a half marathon or do anything that I want to do. And so that was my motivation to go out
I see.
and run. So it was one of those things, like, you have to start small. It's not easy, but doing it with friends makes a big difference.
Yeah.
So you start both with your friends,
Yeah.
right? Okay. So about the to begin running, right?
Mhm.
Should runner concern about their nutrition when they start running?
Absolutely. I think that's
Absolutely.
one of the biggest mistakes. Sometimes we think about sports nutrition and we think, oh, it's just professional athletes that need sports nutrition.
Yeah.
And I'm not fast enough. I'm not strong enough. I'm not good enough to need sports nutrition. But the reality is the best time to start a sports nutrition program is when you start an exercise program. So if you're just getting out and starting into the habit of running, it's a great time to get in the habit of pairing your nutrition with the runs that you do.
Okay. So what is the right nutrition for runners when they begin that run? I mean, like a pre-workout or post-workout?
So one of the things that's really important, no matter the type of sport it is that you're doing, is that when you're an athlete, and I don't care if you're not the best athlete in the world, if you're out there and you're moving your body and you're pushing your body, you've got to think about yourself as an athlete all day long. And so, yes, we want to be concerned about the nutrition around the workout, and we can talk about certain ingredients for that. But you want to think about the fact that all the choices that you make during the day are also going to impact your ability to exercise. So, for example, staying hydrated.
Yeah.
So that's not just something that you want to do while you're running. It's something that you want to think about all day long so that you show up to your run hydrated. And it's just that athletic mindset that you start to have so that you know that those choices are going to impact your ability to run. So
Okay.
staying hydrated throughout the day, most important.
Just start from the stay
Yes,
hydrated.
start with staying hydrated.
Right? Okay.
The other thing I would say too is sometimes people start into a running program because they want to lose weight, right? That sometimes is a goal for people. I'm going to start running because I want to lose weight.
I think not me.
Not
Because-
you.
yeah. I mean, like I'm running for years, but now my weight is gained.
No, it's not really the same. Okay.
Can
we
you
can
solve,
talk about that.
Yeah,
We
can
talk
you
about
solve
that
the
later.
problem later
Yes,
on? So
we'll
I will
talk-
ask you back
Yes.
about that. So is that the experience of Inga also, like when was the time that you start to concern about your nutrition, your technique, since you start running?
I think after a while you start feeling like, okay, I think I can do better. I can fix the first mistakes when
Yeah.
the 8K I ran as hard as I could, and then I was so tired, and then I walked,
Yeah. Okay.
and then I ran again. So okay, you can start by that, trying to fix that. Okay, how can I do it by maybe not walking, just running the whole way? I need to train properly.
Yeah.
Or I need to drink during the race, or if you want to move to the longer distance,
Okay.
you just have to make sure your nutrition, like Dana said, has to be right, because you don't want to bonk during the run. It's happens so often. You get cramps, you bonk, or you feel lightheaded, dizzy, or you just basically just not feeling great.
Okay.
Because back then when I first started, I wasn't an athlete. I was just a normal office worker.
Until now.
Because it's just a hobby.
Yeah, okay.
And yeah, I was like, I'm doing this for fun. I'm doing this so I can be a better version of myself.
Yeah.
And I want to make sure that, okay, I will enjoy this running journey by making sure that I can finish it happy. Like if I want to finish happy, and I need to train properly, and I need to eat properly, and fueling myself properly. Imagine like you're fueling your car with just sewage water. It's gonna break down at some point.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
So speaking about it properly, how many times in a week? I mean, like for the beginners, should run. How many times in a week
I think there's no
to get their first optimum result?
Yeah,
they start to find their benefit of run, not only tired and
Yeah.
sweating,
Yeah.
but we get an optimum result.
Yeah, I always ask how many days per week can you commit to this? I mean, if you're busy or if you work mostly outside, then you can just run for half an hour, 45 minutes. If you can only do it two times per week or three times, it's okay, as long as you stick to it. Stick to a routine. I think that will help you. You don't need to binge running, like run full time 7 days a week, and then the next week you're dead. You're basically like overtrained and get sick. So you want to be this a long term journey for you. So for me, I think it's a better way of thinking about it. Okay, just break it down to small pieces. Like half an hour, 3 times a week, or 2 times a week if you can only commit to that. And see if the day is hot, you just run when the sun is down, or early in the morning, or when you have time to go to the gym, you can run at the gym too. It's okay.
Okay, so there's a lot of optional place.
Yeah, it's just the routine that you need to set up. It's not a matter of how many times per week or how many hours per week.
Okay, I mean, like if someone get addicted, right? Let's talk about if someone get addicted to run, right? Like I get stressed if I'm not running. Okay, but is it okay if we are not run, if we get tired or with other activity? I mean, like I'm a recreational runner, so I'm not an athlete, but I have another things to do.
Yeah.
Is it okay if we get stressed or get high activities?
Yeah, I mean,
And
you can
not
always
run.
replace it with something else. You don't have to run, right? You can go to the gym, or you can do a spinning class.
Okay.
As long as, like Dana said, you keep active, you still get the benefit from the cardio. I mean, there's no point of forcing yourself to the point where you are so exhausted and you got sick the next day.
Okay.
So you can, that's we call it cross training. So you can even play paddle tennis, now it's so popular, or you can I don't know what else. You can play soccer, or you can
It's
play
important to mix it up. Strength training,
Okay.
exactly,
you
yeah.
know, get some weights in, really important.
Yeah, so
And rest days are also very important. I think that's one of the
Okay.
things that when people get in a routine, they get really excited, and then they want to do it every single day, and they worry if I stop one day that'll make me go backwards. That'll actually help you, right? Because exercise is amazing for our body, but it's also a major stress on our body. So if we don't take the time to rest and recover, it's going to be harder for us to continue day in and day out. So
Okay.
that rest is very important.
So we'll talk about rest, right? Because some of the people, I think, still have their mindset. If I get a best result, I have to work hard. I have to exercise hard. So if we're talking about rest, what kind of rest that we have to do when if we want to get an optimal result of our activity like run?
So rest doesn't mean sit on the couch and not do anything, right? You can go for a light walk. You can do some stretching. You still want to move your body. You don't want to go from 100% to just, and look, if there's days that you need to sit on the couch all day, that's also okay. Don't stress about that. It's important to listen to what your body needs. But some gentle stretching, some walking, things like that, moving your body in a gentle way. But that rest is very important to let that body recover. Your body will thank you several days later.
What about the nutrition for us when we rest?
Yeah.
Should we concern about that as well, like nutrition during our recovery time or maybe our rest time?
Yeah, so
Should
I think
we concern us also.
I think there's a couple of things. I think for me, it's everything in moderation. I think some people will say like, "Oh, I'm going to eat well every single day, and then I'm going to have a cheat day on Saturday, eat whatever I want." To me, that's not the. I mean, if that works for you,
That's
works.
the treasure.
That works for you.
Cheat
that
day
works
is a
for
good day,
you.
by the way.
But I would say, eat healthy 90% of the time, and on that day that you want that cookie or that ice cream or that whatever, do it and don't feel guilty about it, right? I think so often in the sports and the nutrition world, we kind of set things up that's like, if you don't do it this way, that's really bad, but the reality is like everything in moderation. If you're training and you're working hard and you want to have that dessert or whatever, fine, don't do it at every single meal, right? Just, moderation is key.
Moderation. So,
yeah.
so during in a week. So, what is the? How many days is the best? The best. Your best suggestion to do a cheat day.
I think you want to take as many as possible.
I would just say don't stress about it. I think we get so stressed about doing it perfectly, and that stress adds to exhaustion and fatigue, and can actually lead to injuries if we're so concerned about doing it perfectly, right? If you're going out and you're exercising and you're moving your body, you're gonna want to fuel it properly. I think that's the thing, is like when you're making healthy choices and you're living a healthy, active lifestyle, it becomes easier to make those healthy decisions. It goes back to that idea of being an athlete, right? You decide to have one cheat day and you eat all this food all day long, and then the next day, how do you feel when you wake up?
I like that. Yeah, it's very heavy.
It's a little heavy. It's so rough, you know. And so that athletic mindset, it helps you make those decisions. And so then when you want to have, that cheat meal or whatever, I would encourage you not to even call it a cheat meal.
Yeah.
Right. Like just that mindset of like you're giving your body and fueling it with what it needs.
Okay, so let's talk about the experience about the eat properly and how. Based on the Inge Prasetyo's experience, can you tell us about in consuming in nutritional intake while carrying out a running training program?
For me, I always in moderation. I don't really have cheat days because for me, I don't restrict myself. Oh, I cannot eat this. I cannot eat that.
Okay.
For me, it's if I want to have that, I will get it and I will eat it. It just
as long as it was delicious.
Yeah.
Right.
If I want an ice cream, I will get a small cup of ice cream.
Yeah.
Just because I feel like having it. But some days I'm just like, oh, okay, it's okay for me not to have it. So I don't really have that craving. Like, oh, I need to have it. Because you're craving for sugar or you're craving for anything. It's just because I try to eat what my body needs, and not so much of like what. Like just by looking at it, I was like, oh, I want that. It's like for me, it's more like, no, I need to fuel my training so I can finish properly and I can race well on a big day.
Okay.
So for me, it's always that mindset. I need to make good choices in terms of my meal because it will affect my performance the next day. So I'd say this morning I had an interval session.
Yeah.
So last night, so I need to make sure I'm ready for tomorrow. I don't eat Padang food, for example.
That's delicious, by the way.
Yeah, or
you can drink, by the way. This water is for drink. It's not for this.
Yeah, so it's just about making good choices. Or if tomorrow, let's say, if tomorrow is an easy day, for me, if I want to have like Padang food today, it's okay, because tomorrow it's for me it's just more relaxing day, and I can run a bit slower. I can run with friends. I can socialize.
We need the social as well, right?
Yeah. So everything is in balance.
Okay.
For me, it's I don't restrict myself into any kind of food. I'm just like.
So now you know about Inge Prasetyo's as a meal experience.
Yeah, but
don't
I think
restrict yourself.
Just one thing for sure is like after training, I always try to make sure that I have enough protein.
Okay.
Because I think that is crucial, and also some. If you have the luxury of having an ice bath, that's also good.
Oh.
Yeah, I mean, I try to pamper myself after a good session or after a hard session. So make sure that I am ready for tomorrow, the next day.
Okay. Why protein is important for the recovery, by the way?
Yeah, I mean it's essential for recovery. So when you're exercising, and this might sound bad, but I promise it's good in the long run. So when you exercise, you actually break down the muscle fibers in your body. Okay, so again, that might sound bad, but the way that your body builds muscle is that you break down those muscle fibers, and then during the recovery process, your body builds those fibers back stronger.
Okay.
So every day you break it down, you build it stronger, you break it down, you build it stronger, and that's how you build muscle over time. But to help with that process, you need to have protein. So what Inga's absolutely right. Having protein after a workout, I like to say your workout's not done until you have your post-workout shake. So you want to try for 20 to 40 grams of high-quality protein combined with carbohydrates, especially for endurance athletes. Carbohydrates are going to be really important, and that's going to help you recover.
If we don't have enough protein for our recovery, it will be impact to the injury or something?
Yeah, if we don't take care of ourselves, if we don't fuel ourselves properly, it can certainly lead to increased risk of injury over time.
I see. So running is that complex. Not only you have to fix your run, but there is a nutrition who take an important part of it.
Yeah, I think we forget sometimes. We think, oh, I'm just eating this piece of fruit, or I'm just eating this piece of fish. We forget that it has significant function in our body. Our body is using everything that you put into it. So like you said, you don't want to put sewer water into your body, because then that's what your body's going to have for fuel. So you've got to put high quality nutrition into your body. And that's why I think, like, especially with athletes, you know, like you were saying, you don't restrict yourself, because your body's telling you what it needs for that fuel and to perform at its best. And so it's really important. And when you start eating clean, you feel it and you perform better. And then that performing better becomes addicting. So then you want to make those choices. And having protein after your workout, really, really important. There's certain types of proteins that we want to make sure we have enough of. Like the branched chain amino acids are one, BCAAs. I know are really popular and common and people are talking about here. You want to make sure that you have a good quality protein that has BCAAs to help with that recovery.
Can we get all that? Okay.
Yes, the Herbalife 24 Hours Pro.
I'm looking for
all
that.
of it. 20 grams of protein, 5 grams of BCAAs help with the recovery. After
I
every
see.
single workout,
It's a
it's
good
a
stuff.
go-to.
Okay. And so let's talk about also running. Back in the day of my experience when I finished my half marathon, I'm not finished strong. I'm finished dying. I don't even know the technique of run. I don't even know that process to recovery, those protein things or blah blah blah. Okay, we talk about technique first, right? So do we have to fix our technique of run to prevent an injure and to increase our performance, as your experience?
Well, you don't have to, but if you want to outperform your competitors, or like outperform,
Oh yeah, of course.
yeah, or like if you want to,
I want to beat my friend.
or if you want to better yourself, then you want to make that investment into running properly. With that saying, maybe you can get a proper coach to help you with the technique or the drills, because when you start running as an adult, then I think your form is already like stiff, like fixed in that sense. But a good running coach can help you fix that into a slightly better one. I won't say like it will be perfect, but you will be running more efficiently.
Okay.
So
the benefit is to become more efficient.
I mean, more effortless. I think that's what you want, because at the end of the day, you want to run faster, and in order for you to run faster, for you to run efficiently.
How we apply in our training program in a week to improve our technique, to prevent an injury and increase our performance.
Well, everything is it's just like learning. There's never ending steps of learning. I mean, every day you try to do something. I mean, let's say if your cadence is too low, that means you're like probably overstriding. Then you can fix it by doing some drills and then making your steps smaller so you can have a higher cadence. Or if you are a typical very high heart rate when you're running, like going to the roof once you start running, you don't have to run. You can start by walking, power walking, or you can combine it, walk and run. So it depends on what you are lacking. You can always try to fix that. Or you can always find a coach to help you and guide you through this process and not overdoing it. Also, if you want to, let's say, move to a distance that is longer than 5K or 10K, if you want to do marathon or ultra, then yeah, I mean, getting a coach or getting somebody who has done that before or who has experience, I mean, you can ask around, see how their journey from a small distance to like the ultra distance or like the longer distance.
Yeah. As long as they didn't give you a false hope, like what happened to me several years ago.
Yeah, I mean, you can always learn from everybody.
Yeah.
That's why I say, I mean, you don't have to learn from a coach. I mean, I can learn from Dana. I can even learn from Yomi not to do what you did.
That's the good way. That's one of the good ways.
Yeah, because you're telling me, oh, I finished that, you know, like that's what I don't want. You know?
Okay.
Yeah, you can always learn from anybody.
Sure.
But technique wise, you probably need a proper coach, or
I see.
a proper coach can also help you change your habit. Let's say your sleeping habit or your eating habit.
Ooh, it's hard. Sleeping habit is hard.
Yeah, because
Important.
recovery. A lot of people miss that,
Yeah.
but I think it's the most important part
Okay.
when you want to do performance.
But if we get injured, how we have to treat our injured? If we got injured already.
Yeah, it just depends how bad is the injuries. I mean, if you got hit by a car, then maybe don't do anything. Just go to the hospital. But
Let's say a common one. what is the common injury that usually happens to runners?
Yeah, usually you twist your ankle or
Uh-huh.
like your ITV syndrome and first is you probably need to find out what causing it or
Okay.
what. Is it because you add up the mileage too much and too sudden, or if you collapse during the run, maybe you didn't drink enough or you didn't eat enough, meaning that during the race maybe you didn't consume enough carbs and basically the fueling itself. Or just you need to identify the problem is and try to solve it. It doesn't have to be all physio. If it's just a minor, you can just let time heal and just run slower and run less. Or you can do other sports. You don't have to keep running. And if you don't have any big races coming up, it's okay to take a break. You know.
Do you agree with this statement?
Absolutely. I think rest is really important, not only for if you're injured, but also in preventing injury.
In preventing.
It's really, really important. If we just push our body, you can be overtrained very easily, especially if you're not fueling correctly. So really important that you rest. A big part of that is sleep. So that's the time where our body is actually really recovering. So if we're sleeping 4 hours a night or 5 hours a night, that's not giving our body ample time to actually recover from the stress and the damage that was done during the day. But again, the other thing is nutrition and protein. So when you're recovering from an injury, your body is doing a whole lot of stuff inside to try and fix that problem. And having enough protein is really important in that process. And the other thing that I would say is remember to train your nutrition. So you were talking about training and going slow and starting slow and not just going out and running a marathon. It's the same thing with nutrition. You don't want to go out and run a marathon and try and figure out your nutrition on the run, right?
That's a bad idea.
It's a terrible idea.
Yeah.
So I always tell people train your nutrition. So make sure when you're doing a longer run, make sure you're drinking the way that you want to drink during that distance of a race. So nothing should be new day one, and that really helps protect your body as well.
I see. So have you found an experience like that? I mean, like subject to your experience, what are the obstacles like most athletes have in consuming nutritional intake, and what is the right direction for the problems?
I think especially in endurance sports, people underestimate what their body actually needs.
Okay.
So we had a camp for triathletes several years ago and we did hydration testing.
Yeah.
And they were shocked when we did the hydration testing that everybody was incredibly dehydrated.
Wow.
Because they just didn't realize the volume and the right nutrients that they needed to fuel their body correctly during especially the long training sessions. And so that's
most of them is dehydrated.
every single one of them was dehydrated,
Wow.
actually, and very dehydrated because you're running and sometimes you get distracted. You just think, oh, maybe I just need water right now.
Okay.
But when you're doing long runs, you need 30 to 60 grams of carbohydrates every hour. You need to have electrolytes. So I like to say you need to consume what your body is using, which is carbohydrates, and what it's losing, which is electrolytes. So it's not enough on a long run to simply drink water. You've got to make sure that you're giving your body the nutrients that it's actually utilizing in that
Especially
moment.
in this kind of weather,
Exactly.
you know.
And then the other thing I would say is people, they don't have a protein shake after they finish. They're tired, they're done, they just want to get in their car, they want to take a shower, whatever. As soon as you're finished, have your protein shake. You might not feel the difference that day, but in a week, your body will feel the difference. In a year, 3 years from now, 10 years from now, recovering properly every day has a cumulative effect. And sometimes we don't want to do it because we're tired or whatever. We go on to the next thing. But it's really important that we take care of our body after every workout.
So one of the solutions is protein shake, just like
Yes.
So if I think about protein shake, this is like one of the investment.
Exactly. It's part of
Right.
your workout.
Yeah.
It is
Yeah.
a very important part of your workout. You can't ever separate nutrition from exercise and think that you're going to get the most out of the
Okay.
workout. You've got to combine the two.
Does the Indonesian enthusiast already aware of this? As your experience to talk about a lot of people in Indonesia who enthusiasts in sports, especially running.
I think they are aware, but like in terms of doing it, they don't see the importance of it because they don't feel it. Like I said, when you're running, you don't feel thirsty and you don't drink. But when you're running, you're sweating, so you need to put that back in because you know the output cannot be more than the input.
Because I found one of my friend who attended the race and he finished and collapsed a few meters before. That's because he skipped the water station.
Yeah.
while
Yeah, because he
running.
wants to get to the finish line as soon as possible.
That's the social pressure. By
yeah.
the way. Yeah.
Yeah.
So you think so as your opinion, so still there is not a lot of people in Indonesia who are not aware of this.
Yeah. I like I said, they're aware, but they just don't think that it's important. You know, that's a problem because they think, it's just a protein shake. It's okay for me to miss it because I already ate siomai. It's also protein, you know, like a siomai is like a dumpling.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, but you want to make good choices. You want to make sure that you're getting the good protein, you know, not like
The container of
gorengan,
protein,
you know.
Ooh, that's delicious.
Yeah, you get the fried stuff.
Yeah.
Like they fuel it by eating bakso or eating the meatballs on the street because they think of it as like it's a protein, it's meat.
Protein's
Yeah, it's the same. So, but it's not the same. You know, it's the quality that is different. You know.
Okay.
Yeah, that's why you have a different kind of choices, and you just have to make sure you make the good one.
I see. So I heard also beside the protein, we have to consume the BCAA.
Yeah, so BCAAs are going to be in a protein.
Oh.
Right, so within a protein, there's 9 what we call essential amino acids, which are, every protein is made up of amino acids. It's kind of like puzzle pieces. You put all of them together and you get a protein. Within those amino acids, there are 3 that are called the branch chain amino acids. So those are uniquely associated with helping you build muscle, recovery, and you're going to find those in a dairy protein. So like in the RS Pro product, for example, there's 5 grams of BCAAs, and that's also coming naturally in a dairy protein. So really important. Like you said, it's the type of protein that's going to help you recover.
Okay, so should we consume it also together with the protein as well, or?
Yeah, so it'll come typically in a protein shake. It will have, so these BCAAs can be added, and they're also naturally occurring in proteins as well. So, but you want to make sure you have that 5 grams of BCAAs.
5 grams per day.
In your post workout.
Oh, sorry,
yeah.
in our post workout training, right? Okay. So back to my problem that I have to I need you to solve it.
Okay.
All right. I'm running for years,
Yes.
and I think most of the people like while we're running, I think we will lose weight, you know. But why I getting my weight gain?
Okay.
Can you help me about to solve this problem?
So there's 2 thoughts that I have that first come to mind of common problems.
This is a
right?
consultation session.
So they're kind of 2 separate things, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it could simply be the fact that you've actually put on a lot of muscle and you're not measuring your body composition. You're simply measuring the number on the scale. The number on the scale is not going to reflect your increase in muscle mass. Okay, so muscle weighs more than fat. So when you start building a lot of muscle, you might see an increase on the scale, and that's okay because it's your muscle mass that's increasing.
Okay.
So that's one thing that could be. The other is oftentimes when you're training a lot, sometimes you don't eat enough. Okay, so if you don't eat enough, you're saying you have to make sure you're putting the right things into your body. And so if you're training and you're burning excessive calories every single day, and you're not fueling yourself afterwards, you're not eating enough throughout the day, it's actually going to slow down your metabolism. So if you slow down your metabolism because your body's like, I don't know when I'm going to get enough food, then it slows everything down. You're not going to burn calories as efficiently. So making sure you're actually eating enough can be a problem that a lot of people.
Okay, so it answered. So actually, so the solution is I have to change my scale in the home.
You have to eat more.
And I have to eat
Make
more
sure you're
and
eating enough.
not eat more, but eat enough.
Eat enough.
Yes.
All right. So we did this podcast as our road to Herbalife run in this September. So means we still have several months for training. All right. Can you this is the same question for both of you. Can you give us advice for our runners who will run at Herbalife Run 2024 in this September, to how to train properly and in a rest day they can perform well and get their best result. Please, who want to start?
Okay.
Inga's first.
Okay.
So you can see the camera.
This Herbalife Run 2024, I did it so many times before.
Yeah.
I think anybody can do it.
Mhm.
It's the distance you can choose from 5K up to
Half
half
marathon.
marathon and 10K.
Yep.
And you just make sure you train enough. You still have time until September 15th.
Mhm.
Don't skip on training. Don't skip on your food, on your nutrition, and don't deprive yourself from eating the good nutrition, or like from drinking, or even from training itself, and sleeping.
Yep.
Yeah, a lot of people skip sleeping and then do hard session
Sure.
the next day. I mean, it's okay to take a break. If you're tired today, then don't train hard tomorrow. It's okay. You just want to make sure that you can run happy. You can perform your best. I think you can only perform your best when everything is like in sync. When you are, when you are in a good mood, when you're happy, and it can only happen when you have a good nutrition, good recovery.
That's a good statement, by the way.
Yeah.
So how about from you, Dana?
I would say one, if you haven't started yet, totally fine, right? You can start small. Have a plan.
Yeah.
Right? Go into it. Have a plan. What do you want to accomplish from now until September? But don't forget to celebrate those accomplishments along the way. I think sometimes we start now. It's July. Okay, I'm going to just celebrate in September once I finish the race. No, set little goals for yourself along the way. Have a partner that can help you stay accountable to that, whether it's a friend, family member, husband, wife, boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever it may be. Let them know what your goals are. Celebrate them as you go. It becomes really motivational. You set those little goals, and all of a sudden you're running faster, longer, more than you thought you were even capable of doing. So September is a long ways from now. Lots of times to build out a program, celebrate it, and enjoy the process, and fuel yourself properly as you're going.
Will you join us in September?
You know what? If you invite me, I will be.
I think we will meet again in September. And so based on our two special guests here, to prepare yourself for September 15 and Herbalife Run 2024, just do it properly, make it happy, and keep it motivated.
Yes.
All right. Thank you very much, Inga and Dana. It's very nice to meet you, and thank you for the consultation for free. I will change my scale after this, and I will eat enough and get my protein enough.
Perfect.
Yes.
Alright, by the way, kita sudahi dulu podcast Molari podcast pada kesempatan kali ini. Thank you very much Inge Prasetyo and Dr. Dana Ryan for the time. And sampai berjumpa lagi di episode selanjutnya. Saya Arno sebagai host pamit undur diri. Thank you very much semuanya. Bye bye. See you guys. Thank you very much semuanya.
Terima kasih sudah nonton. Jangan lupa like, subscribe, dan share ya. Download Tribun X sekarang. menghadirkan lokal menjadi Indonesia.